Class, today we're on page 5 in your Photoshop binder. We're going to start on lesson 1. It's entitled Introduction to Tools and Options Bar. Creating a new drawing in Photoshop is a lot different than in Microsoft Word. You have to include a lot more information when you begin. We will walk through each step carefully. Start Photoshop by double-clicking on Photoshop CS3 icon on your desktop. We're going to go back over a few basics that we learned in the past. Over here, it's called our Tools palette. You can change this to one column or two columns by clicking on the double arrow at the top. Let's keep it at one column. You have your Navigator palette on the top right, your Color palette on the middle right, and your Layers palette on the bottom right. Go ahead and click on Swatches in the Color palette. Okay, so let's get started. To start a drawing in Photoshop, use the File New command. The New Document dialog box below will appear. Create a new image file with the following settings. In the Name dialog box, you can supply a name for the new document. This is not the same as saving it. You will need to save it to a specific location after creating it. For this lesson, we will give it the name Color. Presets. Presets offers a variety of commonly used image sizes, including the default Photoshop size, a standard web page size, and the size suitable for mobile devices. For this lesson, let's use the default Photoshop size. Resolution. The default resolution of 72 pixels works best for images that are going to be displayed on screen. For this lesson, let's use the default 72 pixels per inch. Color mode. The color mode you choose affects how the image displays or prints. The RGB, or red, green, and blue color works best for images that will be displayed on screen. The CMYK color, or cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, optimizes the image for full color printing. For this lesson, again, we'll use the default of RGB color. Background. The background contents list enables you to specify whether the image background will be transparent or use a color besides the default color of white. For this lesson, we want to choose the background color to be white. Simply click OK. Now it's time to save the actual file in your Photoshop file directory. Let's go to File, Save As. Go to your H drive. I'm going to have to create these folders because I haven't done that yet. So inside of our Photoshop intro folder, we will name the file name Color. The format, make sure that the format is Photoshop.psd.pdd. Click Save. Now, come over to the Tools palette and double-click the Set Foreground Color on the toolbox to open the Color Picker dialog box. Okay, we're going to specify a light purple color with the RGB settings. RGB. For R, we're going to change that to 164. G, 158. And B, in blue, 245. You'll notice that there's a light purple color in the new. The current Now click OK. You'll notice here in the foreground and background color, we have purple as a foreground color and white as a background color. Switch the foreground and background colors using the toolbox. Then switch back so the light purple is once again in the foreground color. Select the rectangle tool in the toolbox. Come in the toolbox. The rectangle tool is about the fifth tool from the top, from the bottom. If you cannot see it, remember, any tool that has a black triangle on it, you can always click and hold down or simply right click. And we want to choose the rectangle tool. When you select the tool from the toolbox, the options bar at the top, located above the workspace, contains items that pertain to that tool. We're going to select the Fill Pixels button on the options bar. That's the third button in this section. Draw a rectangle in the center of the workspace. Look at the sample image for size and placements. The sample image is on page 1 of this instructions. So simply draw your rectangle about that size, and you'll notice that the color of our rectangle is now a purple color. With the rectangle tool still selected, select the Shape Layers button in the options bar. It's right here. The Style option becomes available on the options bar. Click on the Style List arrow and double-click the Nebula style. It's on the second row, the second from the right. Click on it to apply it. Double-click on it. Now, in the workspace, create a second rectangle, lower and slightly to the right of your last rectangle. So you want to start right here. Draw the same size rectangle, and you'll notice it applies the nebula style. If you notice in the layers palette, there's a new layer that's been created for you. And here in the layers palette, you'll see Shape 1, a new layer that's been created. Reset the foreground and background colors. There's a small button in your tools palette to reset the foreground and background colors. The foreground color is now black, the background color is now white. Click the background color button. That would be the white. Once you click on the background color button, select a yellow color on the scale here, and click on any shade of yellow that you like there. Simply click OK now. Now click the background layer in your layers palette. Background layer in your layers palette. Choose the eraser tool in the toolbox. If you're on a single column, the eraser tool is in the second group on the top, located right here. If you can't find it, right click on that group and you'll see the eraser tool, the background eraser tool, and the magic eraser tool. Click on the eraser tool. And you notice now our background color is showing yellow here. What you'll do, look in the options bar, make sure the erase to history option is not checked, or else it will not work properly. Now what we're going to do, we're simply going to draw a zigzag line, just like it shows in the picture, or similar to it. You can add dots to punctuate on it. It'll look something like this. Now, choose the horizontal type tool. Horizontal type tool on the single column tools palette is located right here. If you can't find it, right click on it and choose the horizontal type tool. So in the options bar, change the font style to Arial, make it bold or black. The font size, change to 72, and it will be center aligned. Use the swatches palette over on the right side, the swatches palette, to change to a shade of blue, whatever blue you would like. You'll notice in the background foreground color, the foreground color changes to blue. So what we'll do here, go above your rectangles, click out in the middle, you'll see a large blinking cursor, and type in the word color. Look in the options bar. If you mess up, there's a button called cancel any current edits. You can cancel it and we'll erase it. If you're satisfied with what you have, you can click on the commit button. And that commits the layer. You'll notice that the layer color is now in the layers palette. If the word color is off-centered, come over here to the first button on the tools palette and choose the move tool. And you can move by making sure the color layer is selected. You can move the word color anywhere on the canvas. You want to make it about centered. Okay. Go to File, Save. We're going to save our changes. Now, in order for us to, right here, go ahead and click on OK. In order for us to submit it on Canvas, we must save it a little different way. Once again, go to File, Save for Web and Devices. In order to submit it as a JPEG image, you must go to Save for Web and Devices. You see a preview here. Make sure this option here is a JPEG image. You may have to change that. And click Save. Now, in our Photoshop intro folder, you're going to name this color underscore your initials underscore comma and save. Now you're ready to go to Canvas. Submit it on Canvas, where Lesson 1, Introduction to Tools and Options bar is. If you have any questions, remember you can pause the video at any point and go back and